welcome back. It's Sunday. Hope you guys are all well and excited. Got a little freebie for you and a little project to make with it, so really had some fun. I was going to do something completely different today, but as this often happens to me, I sit down here with an intention and it ends up being something completely different. I didn't even plan on making a freebie. Not today. Well, here it is. So I have got 3 pages. I'm going 3, but it's 3 pages for the Facebook freebie. This is free in my Facebook for my members. If you aren't on Facebook, good news, I am putting out my new mini journal. You can see some little inklings of it over here. I'm almost done, but I've got a lot of listing and photos and all that stuff. So Tuesday is the day for that. Tuesday going into Wednesday if you live in the UK. All right, I will add these 3 pages onto the digital and onto the printed kit. So if you're one of the ladies who rely on me printing for you, that's absolutely fine. I'm going to be adding these 3 freebie pages into the new Down in the Garden mini journal. All right, so there we go. So this is what I've done. I had a little plan. This is now plan B after plan A. I don't even know where that went, but anyway, we'll resurrect that for another day. And I needed to get some different sized images, so I have made some complete new ones, and we're going to use all of these in our project today, which is really fun, and I had a good time playing along with it. I had to stop because it's already pretty late, and I thought if I don't get this done now, it's going to be raining, which it's hovering there, and dark, and yeah, not suitable for me to film this. So I thought, let me get a move on. So I've got this lovely page. I put in some vintage postage stamps, different size images, which is what the focus of this was. It's still got the Down in the Garden theme, but I mean, this is a floral, floral pages, floral images, so it can go with anything. So this is what I've focused on here, a lot of florals. So we've got some vintage houses and English gardens and different size images, thinner, narrower. That's the first page. I'll stop nattering now. Right, and then I've got this one, which is longer, thinner ones, shorter, thinner ones. Wanted thinner, so, and shorter and smaller, etc. So that's what I've done there. All right. Now I did back all of mine onto another sheet of paper. So I use 160 GSM. In the States, that's the equivalent of 60 pound weight. All right, so pretty much, what is that? Double copier weight paper. All right, so I'm going to take, this is also printed on 160 GSM, and all I do is I stick this behind so that it's nice and firm and not flimsy, and you've got a writing area as well. Okay, that is a separate kit. Okay, so that's the second page, and then the third page is a nice collage page of garden goodies in the colors that we're going to use today. We're going to cut this up. We're not going to use it as a page, so that's what we are using that for today. All right, so that's number 1, number 2, and number 3. Okay, Facebook group, my Facebook group members, I will put this in there for you in the files tab, so you'll file it there. I usually put a post so it helps you with that as well, but the rest of the people who aren't on Facebook, and I don't blame you, but I have a lovely group, so that's why I'm there. I will link this to my digital, which is coming out Tuesday, Wednesday, for the new Down in the Garden mini journal, and of course the printed kit as well, and this will be in there as well, a set of this. All right, so there we go. I've covered everybody, I hope. Okay, so what are we going to do with this, Angela? What are you making? Well, I've made some goodies, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so these look more complicated than they really are, but they are really fun. I made this one first. I was going for the tag size, which is 3 inches and what is that, 7.5. All right, so that's what I did, a large tag. And then I added this zigzag on it, and this is why I wanted shorter, medium and longer tags. You can see I've put the long one in there, all right, so that it would take up that space. I have put it on my altered book pages. We'll go through all of that in a minute. So there, and then the shorter, thinner ones I've put in here, and then much shorter again in here. All right, here you can see I've stenciled on there, so that was nice and different. I didn't want to print at the back, so those of you that don't print, you can use single-sided paper. I've added some lace, and I've backed it onto the peach background paper there, and just added a little circle and a little ribbon. So that's it. And I thought this would be a lovely tag to go into your journal. You can write on all the back of these images, and as I said, I have backed them, and you wouldn't deface the item at all. So there's the one. Then I wanted to go a bit wider. So this one is 7.5 high, but 3.5 inches in width. So let me just give you some metric measures. So 7.5 is 19 centimeters, and 3.5 is 9. Okay, so that's what you got here. This one will be 7.5. All right. Okay, so the same here. I've put in 2 little ones there. I love these. Okay, so that's perfect. I've used my backing paper here. I don't know if you can see it. I think you will when I take that one out. So the one that looks like the fabric. Okay, and I've put that in there. And then I've taken the other long one and put it in there. Oh, I put 2 in here because it was wider. So that's what I did there. All right, so you've got that and that. I had a load of book pages which I had misprints on. I printed them upside down. Oh my gosh, on the reverse side. So I thought it's what inspired me to use them today. But you can even use plain book pages. All right, so there's the other one. That's slightly wider. And then I went totally different. I was going to make using the mini book pages, 2 page, and do something there. But then I got waylaid, as I do. And same thing, I've got the triangular bit going round. So it's double-sided, and I've made a little pouch here. So I've put 2 of these in there. Like that. I've put one of the little, that stamp's actually not from the freebie, that's from my ephemera pack, so I've just added it there. It was lying on my desk, and so that was from the other freebie I did. Okay, and then the stamps were to go in here. All right, that one's not in there, it's just one from the other kit, but the stamps were because I needed some shorter bits in there, so I made new stamps because you can. Right, and then the remaining 3, I've got that in there with a bit of greenery, and then this lovely one, which I love. Okay, so those 3 go into there, like that. And then this would be a nice floating pocket. You can just clip it into the side of your journal. You've got lots of space to write in, and even more when you pull out this is also double-sided. All right, so I've just stuck the 2 houses back to back, added a little eyelets at the top. There we go. I've backed that with a peach avocado paper, the peach colored paper. Just go like that. It's all hidden, and you've got your little pocket in there like that. So how cute is that? Yeah, and the ribbons help to pull it out. So there you go. Keeps it all nice and flat. All right, so that's what we're going to make, and I'm going to show you from start to finish how I do it. I'm only going to make 1 tag, 1 of these, and you'll see how easy it is. You don't need any measuring. We are going to use our eyes, and we are going to use what the goodies we're making to work out the lengths and whatever. All right, so you need a pencil, a ruler, and your freebie, and some book pages. Okay, and lace. I've got a big pile of it next to me here. Right, so I'm going to just put these at the top. Let's just leave them over there. And let's just start with the tag. Okay, so this is the background paper. This is how I do all my tags and all my ephemera. You want your glue stick. And then I'm going to take one of the book pages. I'm just taking any one. Yeah, I got this all wrong, so that's why it's here. I'm just going to cut half of this. I'm just going to tear it with my ruler, actually. All right, so this is not the width I'm using. I just want half of it. Keep the you don't need to do this if you're going to make two. You can just stick them right down like I did in the beginning and then cut them from there. But I only need one. Okay, so decide which side we want. I'm going to go with that side, so I'm going to cover this side. Right, so I'm just going to stick this down like you do. So this is how I go about making all of my ephemera with my glue stick, even my tags, and I use a backing page, which are those 3 pages, the tea stained, the avocado, and the lace. So this is the lacy, cream lacy one. All right, so there are digitals or printed kits in my shop if you're interested in that. Right, now it's just a case of taking a pencil. We're not measuring, it's just because I've got my craft knife. You can use your scissors. I want to make mine 3.5 inches wide. You can do the 3 inch, but I think I'm going to do the 3.5. So the first one I'm going to do, I'm just going to cut straight down. I'm not measuring. There's no measuring today. All right. And then I'm going to just measure on my board. Well, you don't have to measure, just gauge it. But I'm just showing you because I said 3.5. But whatever width is right for you, it doesn't matter. Okay, so we want to just cut that. Right, we'll keep that for another day. And that's going to be the base of our tag. I just want to cut off a little bit off the bottom here. So I'm going to... Now, just decide where you want to make your your tapered bits on the tag. That's how I wanted to say it. All right, so I'm just cutting. I'm going to make it quite wide. So I cut it. I take that bit. And if you are a seasoned crafter, you know this trick already. But if you're not, this is how you do it to get them right. Because as try as you might, you think that you'll be able to get it the same on the other side, and I promise you, you won't. In the end, you'll throw it in the bin out of sheer frustration and decide that's not for you. So there you go. If you're doing more than one, then it's easier because I don't know why I'm drawing a line here, but I just want to cut that bit off. Cut 2 together and then just invert the one and put it here and it'll do the same job. All right. So there are many ways. Okay, I'm just cutting the white bit off there, as you do. And then just get your distressing. Now, I have actually gone with a new one of these, but because I'm waiting for it to be a bit more worn, I'm using my antique linen. Any colour you like to use is fine. I used to use this one a lot until I discovered that the vintage photo in the oxide is lighter than the distress oxide, the distress ink in the vintage photo. There you go, that's good enough for me. Right, so I've got that there. Now, as I said, there's no measuring, but you do need a pencil and a ruler, so that's it. What I want to do now is I want to take this freebie sheet here. Okay. Now, this is where the pencil comes into play. Turn the freebie sheet over. All right. We are going to do 2 things. First of all, you want to use your pencil and just make it measure 3 times the width of your tag, whatever that is. So that's 1. Just make little marks on the wrong side. And it's pencil, they rub out. 2 and 3. Okay, so this one here is the one. Then what we want to do is decide how high you want this to go up. Now you'll see from this one, I started at just below at that point. So you can do that, but with this one, I went a little bit lower. All right, so really it's up to you. I'm going to go a little bit lower with this. And again, we're just gauging it. So I think I'm going to go about here. So that's about an inch, but just gauge it, guys. There's no wrong or right. And then where did I make that mark? It was over here. So I'm just making a little mark over there. Okay. Now what you want to do is you've got the right measurement. You want to join that point with this point. So you want to get to the bottom there, and you want to go to the top of that bit there. So there to there. And then you can either draw a line and cut your scissors, or I'm going to just cut this straight across. Oops, I got it right. I moved it. Not easy when you've got your hand at a funny angle here. Right, there we go. So there's our cut. Now that's what we've got, and it's so pretty, isn't it? Okay, now hang on to this, because we're going to use this for the other one in a bit. Okay, right, so now what we want to do is we want to we'll get to the inking bit. I want to just put the piece of paper exactly on the corner there of this tag, and there, like that. If it's better for you, then take one of your clips. These are really strong, one or two of the clips, if that works out for you. And then just make sure that this is crucial. Just make sure these are on top of each other 100%. All right, and then just take your little clip just to keep it there for the minute. Yeah. Okay. Let's just move this way. So I think that now we want to turn this way. Yeah. Like that. And your little mark is still there, so that's good. Line it up with the base of your tag again. So just get that straight. Because if the bottom's straight, the side will be straight. Okay. There we go. Right, and then on that mark again, just turn it the other way. Like that. Get that point there. Get your bone folder or your fingers, whatever you prefer. And there you go. Okay, so we've got that all done. Yeah, easy peasy. Now we can do one of two things. You can either stencil on there, which is really easy. And I have got my stencil there, but I wanted to show you, if you wanted to put paper on that, this is how I go about doing that. So I did put a piece of paper here. Right, so what you need to do for covering that section, all right, is just lift off the clip, slide it into this section here, meet it up with the base, yeah, and then you're just going to run your pencil down there like that, and then along the side. Now you will have to take off a little sliver because you've got the fold of the paper, and then that is the piece, the size that you're going to need. Now my suggestion is cut it left of the line you've just drawn. Right, so there we've got that. So that's going to fit in there perfectly like that. So now at this point you can see if you need to trim anywhere, it's a perfect fit. All right, so we will just take our glue. So I'm just going to use my glue stick. See, easy. How pretty is that with the green? I love it. Okay, oh, I love those colors already. So pretty. Cool. Now we can take our distress ink while it's off. and just get those corners done. Now you don't really need to worry too much about this line because we're going to put lace on there, but I'm just doing it anyway, especially this corner. And I think this bit just needs a little bit more. All right. Okay, now it's time for the lace. So exciting. Okay, so what kind of lace should we put on here? We can put on the thinner one, and I quite like the thin ones for this. We could also put on the darker one, or the cream one, whatever you, or green if you want. You know, I think I quite like that. Have I got some green? Let's see. I'm not going to go with the green. Not for this one. I probably, as much as I love using this one, it's gorgeous. I'm going to save this one. Let's put that one on, why not? The thinner the lace, the better, I will tell you that. All right, so get your sharp scissors, and she says, and these aren't the sharpest, but it's okay. We will overcome. What we need to do now is we want to stick the lace on, okay? You can't go right across like that because that goes behind. So just make it a little bit longer, yeah? And let's just put on some glue here. So, oh, the kids are in the playground making lots of noise. They're young, so we allow it, don't we? Rather that than sitting indoors on phones and devices. They're playing football, which is quite nice because I've got a front row seats to it. And it happens a few times in the week too. And a dad or two will be there just to supervise, because these lads are probably about 10. Right, let's just cut off a little bit there. You can cut it flush with the edge, but I have, well, let's just cut it flush with the edge. It makes it less bulky. So let's just do that. Should have got my other scissors. These don't like doing this. Okay, so we've got that there. And then tend to just glue that over. So just turn it slightly down from the edge so you're not going to see it poking through like that, so that you get a nice clean finish that way. Right, we want to put some up there, so I'll probably fast forward this. Okay, so we've got that all done. I'm really happy with that. Let's give it a squish. Now we're going to glue that down in a minute. I wanted to just cut out a little scrappy bit there, just a 3/4 of an inch circle. You don't have to do this bit, it's just what I like to do. And then I just want to get that at the top here, and that's where we'll put our eyelets in. That's the word. Right. Now I'm not going to sew these because I did sew these ones, but it took strain. So I'm not going to sew these ones, but if you did want to have a stitched edge, you could sew it at this point and then at least that bit stitched, but I'm not going to do that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stick it all down. So I've got my little bits here. We want to get some on there, and you want to just get your glue. Don't go right to the edge, it'll ooze. It does sort of spread, doesn't it? So you want to just get this down, and then we're going to get that again, line it up well. Okay, and just tap it so that you know that it's where it needs to be. Okay, perfect. And then just give that a little squish. You can always put this on the corners if you're not sure. And then what we want to do now is that bit stuck down, but this bit needs to be stuck down. So I'm going to turn it round. I think that's probably easier. We want to get it stuck down there. And then up on this bit. I'm going to put that on there, but I just want to get this bit. And then while we're waiting for that to dry, just get your little, oops, just put in your goodie. So here we go, got that one done. I'm ready to put your ephemera in, so we'll get to that. And then the last little one is this one here, which is also super easy. So again, I'm going to just take the bird one. It's just the one I had. Any one you have is fine. You don't see much of these images, to be fair. Right, fold it in half. Now, I haven't trimmed off this edge yet. Okay, and we won't be, only on one side. Okay, so folded that in half. And then I just want to take my ruler and my bone folder, and I'm sort of just gauging the width of the writing. So I'm making a mark there, and I'm not going to cut this off. I'll show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to just score a line there. Sorry. Turn that over like that. Yeah. And now you can see where that score line was from the underneath piece, and that piece we can cut off. This is probably why I go with the ruler, because I just find it quicker. Right, so we just want to cut that bit off. So that's it there. So we're going to glue that closed. We just want to take the glue, put some glue on the bottom here. Make sure it is the bottom. Like that. All right. And then you're just going to put some glue on this flap here. Right. I did remember on the other one, but not here. This is the top, and you want to just miter that a little bit. Okay. Okay, so we've got that like that. And now we want to just take our, this is my 1.5 inch, so 4 centimeter punch, and I'm going to just put a little thumb notch in there. Perfect. Okay, so there's your little pocket bit. Okay guys, so what I want to do is I want to measure this, but I want it to be the right side up as well. So the first thing I'm going to do is measure halfway down like that. Yeah. And I'm going to draw a line here. Right, so we just want to line that up there and cut straight across there, the halfway mark. So I made this pencil line. Hopefully this is going to be all right. So let's give it a go. I don't want it upside down. So there we go. We'll keep that for something else. Right, at least we've got this the right way. Now we want to measure 3 times. So let's do that and measure 3 times with your pencil. So we've got 1, is that right? 1, 2, oh yeah, that's perfect. 3. Now I want to just go half an inch up. I'm just gauging it, so not quite to the point. I want it to end sort of there. So I've just measured that over there. Okay, so we can cut that bit off, and then we've got that little mark we made just to end it a little bit higher. You can enter it there, it just means it'll be down there. So I just wanted to do something a bit different. So we're going like this, and go straight across. And there we go. That should work now. All right. Now this is easier to put the lace on, you'll be glad to know. But let's get it round first. So you can start on either side. We can start there or there, like the hummingbird. So I want to see more of him. So we'll start on this side. Okay, so we get that like that. And then we're just going to fold it round, right round. Yeah. And around again. And just keep it flat with the base, like that. Yeah. And round again, like that. Yeah. There we go. So now we want to just ink a couple of the edges. So we don't need to ink the top, but we need to ink the sides. Okay. Like that. Now with this one, you won't see any of the wrong sides, so that's good. Let's take our glue. Let's start over here. We want to get that in place like that. So we want to put some glue down there and there, but underneath. All right. So I'm going to use one of these clips like that, just to keep it in place for me. And then I'm going to run my glue down here, just like that, and then get that, minus your pin, nice and flat, like that. All right, and then the same process here, down along there. Okay, and then just a little bit. It's better to do it on here, then you know how far it's got to be. There we go. So I think this is easier to do, wrapping it around. Okay, and then the last one is, let's just do it on here. A little bit there, and a little bit there. There we go. So again, we're just lining it up with the base. Get that nice and flat. Angela. It was swimming around there for a moment. Okay. Now you can see where you need any extra ink, if any. Now mine's just very light. Yeah, on that side. Perfect. Okay guys, so now when it comes to your lace, we're going to use the darker purple one. All right, and then we're going to give that a nice clean edge. We're going to start at the top here, so the side with the 2 bits. Okay, and get your glue on. So I'm just using Fabri-Tac, and don't get it past the edge over here. Did I? Run your finger in just to make sure, and then put your lace on. You can always trim the edge and run it around that side. There you go. Isn't that pretty? Now I am going to cut that off, and you can put a bit of glue on your fingers. now we've got shouting going on outside. They don't think of old ladies, do they? Gosh, you know, I used to have a neighbor here who was in his 90s, who lived 2 doors down, and when I moved in, there wasn't a park here. It was built, it was just, you know, vegetation. And then they put a housing development here, and hence the park. We all went crazy. But I quite like the park now, except for the rowdy people, which doesn't happen that often, to be fair. But the poor old man, he had to move out because of the kids making such a lot of noise. Right, so we're just wrapping it round and round, look, and we're going to end up over here. So really easy to do this. But yeah, that was very naughty of them, not checking with the residents who'd lived here. Well, I haven't lived here that long. I'm in my 7th year now, but in this house. There we go. Isn't that pretty? So easy. And then you just want to cut it off. Yeah, just make sure that you've got the glue, you know, put it on the end of the lace when you cut it off, and then just wrap it round like that. You know, when that dries, it's just going to make sure it doesn't fray, and when it dries, you can just trim it off. All right, so that it doesn't fray. Right, and now all we have to do is pretty much very little. On this side here, you can put on something like one of these little stamps if you want, but I think it's pretty enough without it. So yeah, everything's pretty much done there. You don't need to do much. And then it's just a case of adding in your ephemera. So that's all you have to do. I'll deal with that later. All right, so again, it's just put the stamps in the small section. So I'm just showing you what I did. So you've got them sticking out there like that. The brown one comes from my other kit, the original kit for Down in the Garden. Then these 3 go in there. So you got that one and these 2 like that. Yeah. You want to take your 2 houses, which I backed on the card and everything, put in 2 eyelets, and that will go in there. Yeah. Turn it over. Beautiful bird. I'll probably cut out some more and put them in there, and then these 2 just go in there like that. All right. So how lovely is that? And then with this one, it's just a case of putting your long tags in here. So the long tags go into this section, which I have hopefully not glued. No, I haven't. I thought, gosh, did I glue it? Don't recall that. But I think it's the little pegs. So these go in there. Perfect. And then little card. 2 more little cards. Just love these colors. Right, so and that's all I'm going to do on that front, and I'll cut some more and put them in there. And then you just want to put in your ribbon in here. So for this one, so let's put this in here. Now you don't need more than one of these for your journals. I just, you know, I've got these 3, and I think that's more than enough. I might just fill one more so that I've got one, you know, 2 of those, and 2 tags is fine. So there we go. Perfect. Right, so there's all the bits that we've made. How cute is that? All right. Okay guys, go and grab your freebie if you're in my Facebook group. Look out for the mini journal, which I will be putting out on Tuesday, Wednesday's video. Just need to finalize the listings and the photos, etc. It does take lots of time, but yeah, I'm on the home straight. You can see. That's all I'm showing you. So look out for that on Tuesday, Wednesday. I've got the bundle ready. I've got it all ready. It's good to go, and it will happen on in our next video. Go and grab your freebie. And as I say, if you're buying a digital or printed kit, I will add those 3 pages onto the digital and put the 3 freebie pages into the printed kit. So you will get it anyway. All right. Stay well. Have a great weekend. It's definitely getting dark here now, purely because I think we're about to have thunder and lightning. So I think we made it just in time. Take good care of yourselves. We've got a bank holiday Monday tomorrow, so excuse me, an extra day off. So I will only be able to go and visit the post office on Tuesday. Okay, everyone, stay well. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you Tuesday. Bye.